sexuality educator. Winter is coming. So is President Donald Trump. In my last video, I mentioned that I was very worried about the impact that Trump's presidency could have on the United States, specifically what it would mean for people in marginalized community, people of color, gender and sexually diverse people. I also mentioned that I was worried about the effect it could have on sex education, sexuality research, reproductive rights, sexual safety. In that video, I talked about various organizations in the States that I thought could probably use some extra support in the wake of a Trump presidency. This week, I want to talk about similar organizations here in Canada. Now, obviously, for those of us here in Canada, we don't have to worry about Donald Trump being our leader. Our leader is the good-looking and ostensibly progressive Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But I wanted to talk about Canadian organizations for a couple of reasons. Trump's election in the United States seems to be having a bit of a spillover effect here in Canada. I know some of us as Canadians like to think that we're a little bit more progressive, we're a little bit more inclusive. We can get a little smug about it sometimes. But while Canada and the United States do have some cultural differences, we also have a lot of similarities. We have a lot of the same struggles, we have a lot of the same challenges, and we have a lot of the same personal and systematic prejudices here in Canada that exist in the States. And while I would love to believe that I am living in a country that embraces sexual diversity, gender diversity, racial diversity, personal choice, and sex positivity, I just can't relax around that yet. To me, Trump's election is just further proof that there is a lot of work to be done for those of us who are looking to dismantle the oppressive systems in our culture. And so I want to support the groups that are on the front lines and are doing that work. So just like last week, this is not a comprehensive list. These are just a few organizations that are important to me. If there are others that you want to support, that is amazing. But if you're just looking for an organization to lend some time or give some money to, here are a few suggestions. Black Lives Matter. Here in Canada, Black Lives Matter work to dismantle anti-Black racism and to give Black Canadians the freedom they need to heal from the effects of that racism and to self-determine. They're based here in Toronto, and they're an intersectional group, which means they're working to fight the violence and oppression against all Black people, Black cis, Black queer, Black able-bodied, Black disabled folk. Here in Canada, Black Lives Matter is probably best known for their protest actions, such as the occupation at Toronto Police Services headquarters or their action at Toronto Pride this past summer. They also do a lot of other work, including community education. Black Lives Matter can connect groups with brilliant speakers. They also run Freedom School, which offers Black positive and queer positive education for children and youth. So as I mentioned, in Canada, Black Lives Matter is based in Toronto, and they are known as Black Lives Matter Toronto. Their organization is funded entirely through private donation, and you can give either a one-time contribution or sign up for a monthly contribution. The Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity. Full disclosure, Jeremy Diaz, who is the founder of the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity, is someone that I knew and worked with when I lived back in Ottawa, and Jeremy's a fantastic person, and the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity is a fantastic organization, so yeah, that's why it's on this list. So the CCGSD, which is its English language acronym, promotes gender and sexual diversity and an end to discrimination in Canadian, Indigenous, and international communities. So they are a national organization. They do so much. They facilitate school workshops, they hold conferences, they provide training for students and educators, they provide resources and community trainings. The Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity also award grants and scholarships, and they are a key partner in the International Day of Pink. There are a lot of ways you can support the CCGSD. You can make a one-time donation or sign up for an ongoing contribution. You can support one of their many campaigns. If you are in Ottawa, where they're headquartered, you can sign up to volunteer. They also have ambassador opportunities available for people right across the country. The Native Youth Sexual Health Network. As the name implies, the Native Youth Sexual Health Network is for Native youth, but it is also run by Native youth. The Native Youth Sexual Health Network provide culturally relevant sexuality and sexual health education. They do advocacy work, and they produce and promote their own media, including a YouTube channel, and I will have the link to that down below. You can support the Native Youth Sexual Health Network with a donation. They accept Canadian dollars, and they also accept US dollars. So if you are south of the border and you want to give a contribution, you can do that in your own currency. The Sex Information and Education Council of Canada. The Sex Information and Education Council of Canada, or CCAN, works with educators, health professionals, community groups, governments, and corporate partners to promote sexual and reproductive health in Canada. CCAN's work includes sexuality development, providing resources for teachers, for students, for educators like yours truly, and also providing expert consultation for public policy development. They also publish the Canadian Journal of Human Sexuality, which I think comes out 3 times a year and contains the latest findings from sexuality research being done across the country. So you can support CCAN by making a one-time donation. You can also sign up for a yearly membership, which helps to support CCAN and will also get you a subscription to the Canadian Journal of Human Sexuality. I have a subscription and I enjoy it very much. Those are some of the organizations that I support. In the comments below, let me know if you were unhappy with Trump's election. How are you doing right now? Are you still having a hard time? Are you ready to spring to action? If so, what are you doing? Are there organizations that you've been supporting or plan to support in the future? I would love to know all about it. If you like this video, then by all means, do all of the liking a video things, thumbs up it, share it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That's all. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. As you know, and as I just mentioned, Donald Trump is going to be the President of the United States of America.